My name is Yasuyaki Yamashita. I was born in Nagasaki in 1939. On August 6th, the first bomb was dropped on Hiroshima. On August 9th, when the second bomb was dropped at 11:02, I was at home with my mother and my sisters. We listened to the siren on the radio warning that the enemy plane was approaching. As we entered the house on the way to the shelter, we felt an intense light that blinded us and then a tremendous force that threw us to the ground. My mother was able to protect us with her body, crawling through the darkness. We entered the shelter as countless objects flew around us. The house had been destroyed, only leaving the columns supporting the roof and some walls. My sister told my mother that oil had fallen on her head, but it was actually blood from cuts caused by broken glass. After a few minutes, we began walking toward a shelter in the mountains, from where we could observe the few buildings that remained intact in the city and all the fires around. My father, my sisters, and friends also arrived at the community shelter in the mountains. One of the girls had burns all over her back and died the next day. Under instructions from the authorities, my mother, my father, and hundreds of other volunteers went to the epicenter of the explosion to help survivors, finding thousands of cadavers. Because he worked day and night in that area, my father was exposed to intense radiation, which made him take ill suddenly. He died several months later. In the weeks following the dropping of the bomb, the suffering of the people increased because of lack of food, while the number of wounded and dead rose each day. To find something to eat, my mother decided to take the children with relatives who lived outside the city. To get there, they had to walk to the area where the bomb had fallen, where we saw thousands of charred bodies and couldn't be removed. After a few days, my mother, my sisters, and I returned to Nagasaki, unable to find enough provisions. Using the burned walls materials, we were able to recover the ruins. From the ruins, we rebuilt and covered the largest holes in the house, so at least we wouldn't have to sleep outdoors. As years go on, I moved to Mexico in 1968 to tell my story in the cities and towns all around South America. People come from all around just to listen to the tragic and horrific stories myself and other survivors have to tell. Not many people in my hometown know the tragic bombing of August 6th and 9th, 1945. Only I know the story of August 9th, 1945.